Hi, I hope you've enjoyed this video hop celebrating the release of the Dreams Come True collection by Altenew. I have a lovely watercolor card for you today, which looks very complicated but can be made very quickly. So let's get started. We will be using the Wispy Joy layering stamp set, some watercolor paper, the rose gold embossing powder, a watercolor palette, and the watercolor brush markers. I'm going to start by taking out all the outline stamps from the Wispy Joy stamp set and arranging them on a piece of watercolor paper. Altenew's watercolor paper is already pre-cut to fit a A2 card. It measures 4.25 inches by 5.5 inches. I've put the sheet of paper in my stamp positioner and I'm going to arrange all the outline stamps in one corner of the panel. If you want the stamps closer together, you can always stamp multiple times. I'll use embossing ink to do my stamping because I want to heat emboss this with the rose gold embossing powder. I'm using the rose gold embossing powder for heat embossing. I love this powder because it is a beautiful color and it also melts super fast. I did not prep my paper before I poured the embossing powder. In case there are any stray bits of embossing powder sticking to the paper, I will simply use a brush to clear it. I'll take this away and finish the heat embossing and come back. Now one corner has been embossed. I want to turn the paper 180 degrees and do the other corner to make sure that I don't get any ink on the paper while I'm arranging the images. I'm going to simply peel off one of the backing sheets from the stamps and place it over my watercolor paper panel. Once I'm happy with the arrangement of stamps, I will press them into the lid and then I'll remove the OHP sheet. I found this is the easiest way to make sure that your paper panel stays clean. I usually keep a small sheet of OHP sheet with my stamp positioner. For this reason, I can't find it now, so I decided to use the backing sheet. I'll just continue to cover the panel with all the outline images till I have a complete background. Now the panel is heat embossed. It actually looks so pretty, you can just use it as is. But we are going to do some watercoloring now. I have the watercolor brush markers here. I'm going to be using the shades Lime, Fresh Lemon, Sunkissed, Purple Wine and Crimson. I also have a piece of tissue to mop up any extra water. And of course I have a spray bottle filled with clear water. I find the watercolor palette very useful when doing my watercoloring. Otherwise you can just take a piece of plastic or something similar. I sprayed the panel lightly with some water and then I used a flat brush just to spread the water around evenly. And now I'm going to start adding some color. I'm adding yellow to both the flowers and the leaves. Doing this very randomly because I'm looking to get a very artsy, loose kind of a watercolor look. I'll move on to the lime shade. Again, I'm adding it randomly to the leaves. Now I'll just take my spray bottle and spray more water on the panel, and now I'm just twisting and turning the paper to spread the color around. You can always use a brush to do this if you want. You can always add more colors if you like. You'll notice that the color is actually running into the background, which is okay because that is the sort of look that I was going for. Now I'll take Sunkissed and again apply it to the flower. I'll do the same with Purple Wine and Crimson markers. I've deliberately chosen colors which mix well because I don't want any muddy areas. You just need to be careful with the green and make sure that the red doesn't mix too much with it. If you find there's too much color in places, you can always use the tissue to dry it. I'm quite happy with the way the panel looks, so now I'm going to take it off screen and just dry it with my heat gun. This helps me move the color along and creates additional layering. If you want, you can also leave the panel to air dry. Though this will take some time as we've added a lot of water to the panel. So this is a beautiful watercolored panel. I've just trimmed it to fit on a A2 sized black card base. I've also stamped the sentiment from the Fresh Freesia stamp and heat embossed it with red gold embossing powder. To finish the card, I'm just going to pop up the watercolor panel with some foam tape. Since this background is quite bold, I decided to go for a very simple card design. I feel that is what works best with bold backgrounds. I've also put foam tape on the back of the sentiment panel. So I will just stick this to the card base and our card is done. I hope you enjoyed this technique and will give it a try. If you liked the video, please do consider subscribing to my channel. And don't forget to leave a comment on the alt new video and also on each designer's YouTube videos to stand a chance to win some fantastic gifts. Looking forward to seeing you again. Bye.